Look at this place. Isn't this fantastic? Isn't this what camping is all about and traveling? Beautiful spots like this. And this is right now magnificent Montana by the lake. Beautiful spot, free camping. Hardly anybody here. There's somebody camped over here, but I pretty well have the whole shore to myself around this area. It's wonderful. The weather's fantastic. There's just the tiniest little breeze off the water just to cool you a little bit, because it was a hot day. Even though it's mid-September, it's amazing. But I'm feeling good. Thank you for everybody that had concerns. I went through some challenges the last few weeks. Couldn't get a video out because my computer crashed. And of course it crashes when I'm in the middle of nowhere and there's not much I can do about it. But anyway, it was Windows had become corrupt. I had to go into a town, get access to another computer so that HP could help me get it back up again, and had to pay them, but it was worth it. I got it up again. I did not lose any files. I want to make sure everybody understands that. I didn't lose videos. I had to reinstall software, but I don't keep files on my laptop. I'm smarter than that, believe me. Anyway, onward. I'm gonna have little bits to fill out this video because I'm not, although my laptop's working, my computers, my cameras and all that have all been working anyway, it set me back. And so yeah, I have to get some new material, which is why I'm here. And I work on different projects at the same time. Like for example, I am still working on the Lewis and Clark. Hope to get out to the Pacific coast and follow the entire route, and other little bits and pieces. So it's not that I can just put up a camera like now, go blah 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 blah, and boop, out goes the new video. I need a little bit more creativity than that. What can I say? Anyway, I'm going to fill this out with what I've been doing the last little while as regarding the wind turbine and a few little camping things. The wind turbine is an experiment. Now, hear what I said there. It's an experiment. I'm not telling everybody to run out and get one. It's not as easy as solar is. Solar is a breeze. Wind turbine needs a breeze. And as you can see, I haven't even put it up. There's no point. Anyway, hope you enjoy it. I'm going to be a little bit more, let's say, creative in my videos in the next little while. So I hope you enjoy them. I'm going to shut up. And oh, by the way, sometimes I put little subtle things in my video, see if anybody picks them up. The last one, two ago. See, that's why I can't talk. A couple of videos ago, I put something in there subtle, and I was surprised that nobody picked it up. But that's okay. Other thing, you can see another subtle thing is I'm using stainless steel now. I've stopped using those plastic throwaway bottles, bad for the environment. I'm using stainless steel. So, I'm trying bit by bit to improve. Well, as you can see, the weather's taken a little bit of a turn for the worse. It's now cold and windy and it's starting to rain. So it was time to move operations indoors. And also, check out that my laptop's working properly and I'm working on a new video. But before I go any further with that, I need to clarify something, because I do read the comments and I understand people took what I said the wrong way, which is not surprising because hardly anything I say is the way I want to say it. I just sort of ramble on. But let me be very clear. There is a huge difference between e-begging and people using Patreon. Patreon is a wonderful platform for artists, storytellers. It allows them to generate a little income for the people that really appreciate them the most, their viewers. It's a wonderful concept and it works well. If you're a contributor, keep doing it. Support the people you enjoy or they're going to disappear. So I wanted to clear up that. What I meant by e-begging is some people use various platforms to do e-begging. And what I call e-begging is people that put out videos and just all through the video they get this annoying pitch, oh, send me money, Jimmy needs new shoes and all this stuff. It's like, I don't want to see that crap, and I don't want to contribute to it. That was my point. Those that just have a little donate button or a Patreon button, that's not an issue. That's fine. That's the way to do it properly, and I encourage people to do that. As for me, I'm looking at different options. I haven't decided if there's a better way, and I'm going to experiment because that's what I do. I hope I've cleared that up. Now let's carry on. A while back, my quest for the perfect breeze took me to the backwoods of Alberta, Canada, and a cozy little spot with a valley to funnel the wind. Well, I could set up the wind turbine, but what's the point? There's no wind right now. Might as well do other things and see if the wind picks up later on, I guess. In no hurry. A few videos ago, I installed a new NPPT controller for my solar array. And I did a few tests and I thought it worked pretty good, but there are some people that thought that it wasn't a very fair comparison. And what I was comparing was parallel versus series using 2 panels. And I only tested it in broad daylight, in sunlight. And what I didn't test it was when it's cloudy. And some people think series has a big advantage when it's cloudy out. So why not do the tests again on a perfect cloudy day like today? So the first test, it's in parallel right now, and I've got the other camera hooked up by the monitor. And it should show you what the reading is in these conditions right now. And if you look under the battery symbol, you'll see that it's currently producing 1.7 amps. For the second test, I'll put it in series. Finally, this one, and that one goes to that one. I think I got it right. Should label it better. Well, it's kind of hard to see, but what I have is I've got the positive line going to the top panel. That's that red tape there. Goes through the top panel, goes to the negative, negative goes to the second panel, positive goes through the panel and goes back to the negative. Parallel is a lot easier. For some reason, series just seems complicated, but I think I got it right. Okay, it's now in series. So what's the difference? The difference is that in series, the panels provide twice the volts and then convert it to 1.9 amps. In parallel, it only produced 1.7 amps. However, judging by the initial voltage, the light might have changed between the two tests, with the series test receiving a little bit more light. So I'm sure if there's an array of several panels, like 4 or 6 or something, it probably does make a difference. But if you're only using 200 watts, there really isn't. So it was a little bit of a gain in series, but the fact of the matter is, if even a leaf covered it up, I would lose that gain. So I'm going to also try it when it gets really dark, like just after sunset, and just see if there's anything happening there. But for a regular day like today, no advantage. Might as well leave it in parallel. Well, I know there's a few people out there that really wanted me to update the progress on the wind turbine. But as you can see, I don't really have anything to update right now. Because I think what everybody will agree on is if you don't have any wind, you're not going to get any power. And I keep hitting these dead spots. I'll be out in the woods like today, and there's no wind. Or just a tiny little wisp, you know, and that doesn't generate anything. It's kind of ironic because in my travels in the past I was always hitting these gales and nasty windstorms, but now everything's just nice and peaceful and tranquil and sunny. But the good news is the red paddles certainly did attract a lot of attention, like from this American bald eagle. I took this as a sign for my next camp location. My first stop was some private land I had permission to camp on. Well, there wasn't enough wind in Alberta, so I moved south. I'm now in the US, in Montana. One of the challenges of camping on grazing land, sometimes you got to do a little redecorating. Glad I brought my pooper scooper. And Bessie certainly didn't mind. It gave her a little amusement while she worked on producing a little bit more. Well, I'm always trying to improve things, and what I've done this time is a little bit different. With the turbine, I've got the bolts on first. They're coming from the back, and I've put a protective piece of plastic over them for transportation, and it's just bungeed on. I'll get the bungees off, you'll see, and there we go. So one thing I thought I could improve on is putting it on a little quicker. And the way I did that is I've got the bolts coming from the bottom up instead of the opposite way where you had to screw each one separately. So I've got the bolts coming out, and then I put drinking straws over them just so they would slide through those holes a little smoother. This really makes putting the blades on so much easier. They just slide over. Like that. And the plate goes on. And start putting the washers and the nuts. The bonus of this little protective piece of plastic is it also serves as a bowl so I don't drop the nuts in the grass, which would not make me a happy camper. All I have to do is tighten them by hand, and then I can go to the drill and just gently screw them in. Doesn't take much. but I'm pretty sure I've cut the time down to half in setting up. It's all ready to go up. Hope I didn't put any blades the wrong way. Nope, they're good. It's up and running. One other improvement I forgot to mention was my support pole. It's now 2 dollar broom handles with tent pegs on the bottom and a nut and bolt holding it like a scissors. Just goes down like that. Works perfect. So this is the part where new wind turbine owners get totally excited because they look up and they see, wow, it's turning. It must be producing 400 watts of power. And it's not. It doesn't work that way. There's conditions in order to generate wind power. First of all, let's talk about the wind. It has to be consistently over time at least 17 miles per hour. And right now I'm getting gusts about 5, 10, oh, there's a little bit more wind. That might be 15, but it's not 17. It's getting there. So yes, it has the potential. However, you got to realize, and a lot of people make the mistake. They put it out of the box and they put it up and they can't understand why it's not generating any power. You need wind. You need lots of wind. And not only that, if there's a charge in your battery, the generator has to overcome that charge. Like for example, if it's at 11 volts, well, it has to at least produce 12 volts or it won't charge anything up. So it has to overcome what you've already got in the battery. I'm going to be making several different locations, different wind conditions. You can't just go out one day, put it up, and say, oh, well, this thing doesn't work. You've got to try it under different conditions, and that's what I will continue to do. Just as I am at my lakeside hideaway right now. By coincidence, there was a camper nearby who was also experimenting with a wind turbine. While I was trying to get enough wind for mine, his problem that he had the wind, but the brake kept kicking in when it got to speed. I really do appreciate people like Graham who share their hands-on experience with trailer wind turbines, as it benefits those who are considering wind as an option for camping power. And while I couldn't speed up the wind, I could at least speed up my video for this closing shot. I hope you continue to follow me on my camping adventures.